Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Sports Sit Down. We hope you are doing well, and Happy New Year, by the way. 2021, first episode of 2021. Today, we're back at it again, and we're going to redo our NFL playoff bracket because I think we had a little bit of mess ups here and there in our last one, and now it's officially set. But before we get to that, let's introduce who's here with me today. Nate Martin, CJ Rulo, Kieran Costa, and I'm Sunay Sanghani, back here for Sports Sit Down 2021. So guys, it's been a wild week 17, week 16 since we last recorded. The playoff bracket looks something like this. Teams are set, everything's locked in, and let's get right to it. I mean, first playoff game is this Saturday, the 9th. And it'll start out with that 2 seed, 7 seed, Buffalo against Indianapolis. Two really good teams, two really good defenses. What are we thinking?
They're allowing 6,000 fans in Buffalo for the first time this season. There will finally be fans to cheer on the Bills. The Bills Mafia will be present. And if Buffalo didn't have the edge already, that gave them the edge right there. I'm taking the Bills.
Yeah, I don't think this is a huge conversation. I mean, the Bills have looked like one of the best teams in the NFL this season. Only losing to the Chiefs and like the Titans on Tuesday night. And then they did not hold back, blowout week 17 win. They threw up 49 points on a solid Miami
56.
defense.
56.
56, Jesus.
I mean, honestly, I don't want to say, 2-7, you're in Buffalo, but I just don't think the Colts really have much to do. I mean, they couldn't even win the AFC. Did they win no, they didn't even win the AFC North. No, they didn't even win the AFC North. So who cares?
AFC South.
AFC South.
What the heck is up with these? They got to change these divisions, man. You got Indianapolis in the South when it's like you're in Indiana. Come on.
That is true.
The man is not wrong. I'll say that.
Wait. CJ, do you want to give a special shout out to related to Nate and his hair?
Yeah, and a shout out to Nate Martin's hair for being saved because the now christened Las Vegas Raiders cannot win. So his hair gets to be saved for another stupid bet probably later in the year. Probably involving something with the NBA. I don't know what.
Seems like you're kind of mad.
I might have to make a bet with the Warriors. We might have.
Okay. This man's doubling down.
Okay. All right. So I'm Buffalo too. That defense has gotten better. Indianapolis defense though is really good, but I just don't have any trust in Phillip Rivers. But we'll see them next year with Carson Wentz. They're gonna be a good team. All right. So that's Buffalo. And then I'm just going to move right on up to the other AFC North matchup. I believe we'll see this Saturday night on Sunday Night Football. Steelers, Browns without their head coach due to COVID reasons, a couple players in COVID situations. It's been a really wild week for the Browns, by the way. A couple of their players also got caught drag racing near the practice facility, Rashard Higgins and a defensive player. It's been a really wild week. Scott Lantelt, the offensive coordinator, will call plays for them. And they also have virtual meetings this whole week. They haven't really had a full practice. So if that, probably they're also a lower seed road win. First playoff berth since 2002. Nate, who do you have in this one?
I'm taking the Steelers. I think, the Steelers are not the dominant team that we thought they were, like midway through the season in like October, where they were the only undefeated team in the league. But they're still a very, very good football team. They're still, they still got a great defense led by probably AFC Defensive Player of the Year, TJ Watt. And Mike Tomlin's been here before. He's very seasoned playoff coach. Ben Roethlisberger, very seasoned in the playoffs. I think this is going to be a good win for Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh.
Yeah,
Division
I'm
rivals.
going to go with Pittsburgh. I mean, I like the Browns. I like their running game. But, they barely beat Pittsburgh, and they were starting Mason Rudolph. They won by like 3 week 17 or something. So that also doesn't give me hope. No head coach. Players have COVID. They obviously don't care. They're out car racing by the practice facility. So, obviously no work ethic there. All their receivers got COVID because they haven't shown they really care about the COVID protocols. I take Steelers.
Yeah, I think the Browns have been like the team that has had the most days with their facility closed.
Maybe that's on Kevin Stefanski.
Yeah, that definitely shows some
leadership in
leadership. That definitely shows some
leadership
leadership
in that locker room.
issues with the Stefanski.
He is coach of the year favorite as well. CJ.
I don't even really. I'm just listening to this, and the guys are like, evidently Stefanski is the issue. I'm going to say this though. They have beaten the Titans, who are a higher seed, and they have beaten the Steelers. So I'm going to basically say a 50-50 coin toss. I mean, you do beat the Steelers. Yes, it's by 2, but that's
You
still
know
beating
the
them.
Steelers were
I
starting.
don't know. Here's the thing. It's all about if Baker Mayfield shows up or not. And
Oh, there we go.
Baker Mayfield is known to show up in weird times. Okay, like he showed up against Tennessee, but he couldn't show up against the New York Jets. Like
That is true.
That's gonna be the X factor for this game. If he
It
shows
was
up, it's
Nate. It was like a 2.3 point game with none of the receivers, none of the running backs, no Big Ben.
It was just no Big Ben, the receiver. I remember
Juju.
Juju was the one who caught the touchdown, though, I believe, to make it a 2-point game. I believe they had their receivers playing, offensive linemen playing. It was just no Ben. But I think you're right. It's up to Baker Mayfield, and not having a coach might give him another excuse, but that's a different story. I don't know if I have faith in him as well. I might take the Steelers on this one, but I think it's gonna be closer than people think it is. I'll say that much. Tennessee, Buffalo. Whoops, get on.
Buffalo, Baltimore?
Or Baltimore. Yes.
Can we just talk about? I don't know. This playoffs are gonna be weird, man. Playoffs are weird.
We saw this matchup last year, and Lamar Jackson playoff woes. 0-2 in the playoffs. He just wasn't able to get over the hump last year. This year, however, he comes in as kind of the underdog. They're on fire. They've won, what is it, Nate? 4 in a row, 5 in a row?
Yeah, I don't know off the top of my head, but Baltimore has
All right.
there.
Okay. So who you have?
This is gonna be one of the most interesting games of the first round. I think Baltimore has a lot to prove here. I think they are an improved team from last year. I think even though the record doesn't really show it, I think Lamar Jackson is still a very capable quarterback for that team. I think they improved their running attack. Marquise Brown has developed as a receiver.
Dobbins has been great on the win streak.
Yeah, it's been a and the defense as well. The defense is now better than what it was last year. And for me, from what I can see, Tennessee, their offense still stayed great. In fact, even better than what was. Tannehill had a dark horse MVP season. And Derrick Henry, obviously 2,000-yard rusher. But I think it's the defense that's going to let down the Titans here. I think the defense is very poor. I don't like that secondary. I don't like the pressure that they bring to the quarterback. Davion Clowney has been very disappointing this year. The Tennessee, he's out. Yeah, and I'm taking Baltimore. I think Lamar Jackson gets his revenge here.
Yeah, I'm gonna agree. I think Baltimore rides the hot hand. I mean, since that Browns game, they have just been clicking on all cylinders, offensive and defensive side of the ball. They finished the year, yes, it was against the Giants and Jaguars, but they just blew them out in all those games. Or not the Jaguars, but they played 2 bad teams to finish the year and blew them out. I think we saw what that team can be in the Monday night game against the Browns, and I think they show that against Tennessee. Obviously, in sort of a redemption game after their embarrassing upset as a 1 seed last year.
I really honestly would say, Baltimore's the favorite, but I almost want to ask, do you think the Titans actually may have a little bit of an edge because they had the harder schedule? So they've actually kind of had to work a little bit more, maybe kind of know, hey, we're going to have to work for this win. They know Baltimore's good, but Baltimore, they did have kind of 5 straight wins, but against teams that weren't really in contention. So That's one thing where I'm actually kind of wondering, maybe I don't want to say the Ravens are going to be too cocky because they know what happened last time, but do you think they could almost be kind of underestimating that the hot streak they're on is actually going to be that good going
I think
in. Where the Titans have kind of had to, they've played the Packers, they've played the Browns, and they've played the Colts. And they played and actually the last time out too, the Titans did beat the Ravens. I mean, it wasn't overtime, but they still beat them by 6.
Yeah, earlier in the year. I think CJ. I think you made an excellent point there. Ravens had the easiest schedule this year, and the least amount of miles traveled, and we all know how important that is in times of COVID. And they are the underdog. The Titans are, I think, at home, and the momentum definitely is shifting towards the Ravens' way, which is why I'll predict that it's going to be closer than we think it is. I'm still not picking the Titans defense. That was the worst third down defense, one of the worst third down defenses in NFL history. So,
it's like when the Titans do play good teams, it's either they've been very on and off, like they obviously blew out the Bills on that Tuesday night game. But then week 16, Sunday Night Football, they get absolutely demolished by the Packers at Lambeau. Yeah. I mean, and they not only have they struggled against good teams, they've struggled against bad teams. They only beat the Texans by 3 on a last-second drive. They only they lost to the Bengals. Don't know if you guys remember that. Yeah. And they only beat the Vikings by 1, Jacksonville by 3, Broncos by 2. They've been very inconsistent at times.
And I think that points right towards this offense is amazing, but that defense is very suspect. Ryan Tannehill, though, is a very good quarterback. So it honestly will be a very close game, in my opinion. But I guess it's safe to say we're taking Baltimore.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, is that unanimous, or CJ? Are you taking the?
No, I'm taking. I'm like, listen. I had Derrick Henry on my fantasy team last year, but that still doesn't mean that I'm not taking Baltimore.
Fair.
All right, 4 versus 5. Washington football team, Tampa Bay. This might be a very quick one.
Quick shout out to the Eagles. Eagles, Doug Peterson throwing the game.
No, Sunay, what are your thoughts on that? Do you stand by that?
I can. Would you like to forego completely hearing the predictions and want to hear my thoughts on?
Yes.
It will take a while.
Oh, here we 100%. Go.
Okay. First of all, Joe Judge, you're pathetic. To focus on another team and complain for so long, for your whole press conference, not just a little part.
You threw the game.
The whole. I don't want to hear it from Cowboys fan. When you hear what Joe Judge said, Joe Judge at the beginning of his press conference said, "I am not going to talk about the Eagles or the Washington football team. I want to focus on the Giants," and then proceeds to talk about the Eagles for the basically remainder of the press conference. Goes on a 2.5-minute rant where everyone reposts and says, "Oh my God, what a great response by Joe Judge." Focus on winning and getting more than 6 wins next time. Don't depend on another team.
Sunay,
it rarely works out.
Sunay,
and then second,
why do we care about what Joe Judge says?
Didn't the Eagles only get 4 wins? No, I think.
But Doug Peterson is not in the charge of the Giants or the integrity of the NFL. Doug Peterson is in the charge of the Philadelphia Eagles. Nate Sudfeld has worked hard for 16 weeks. He has also had to give up a lot of things in COVID.
Jalen Hurts has worked hard and put him in a position to win the game. And he went and said, "Hey, Jalen Hurts, I don't want to put you in the position to win this game." He took him out of the game that he was trying to win.
So isn't it better to be in the 6th pick than the 9th pick? I think he's in charge of the Philadelphia Eagles. He's not in the charge of the integrity of the game or for the New York Giants.
Do you agree that Doug Peterson has lost all reign that he had of the Philadelphia Eagles? Because extreme distrust between players and the organization.
So many players spoke out against this.
Jason Kelsey was very upset in post game. It's a mess in Philly.
So this is what I think is where the disconnect between the national media and the local media is. I would like all of you guys to tonight, since you guys brought up Jason Kelsey, go to Jason Kelsey's Instagram. He put out a 3-page note to fans and players exactly detailing what happened step by step by step. It was a known fact on Monday and Tuesday. We knew as Eagles fans, because we read local reports, that Doug Peterson had said that Nate Sudfeld will get some snaps in this game no matter what. Brandon Graham, the team captain, defensive leader, knew that. Jason Kelsey knew that. Hurts even knew that. And they all admitted it post-game. Miles Sanders said something completely different, but Miles Sanders wasn't active in the week. Thus, he wasn't practicing in the week, and he wasn't in the building throughout the week. So he may not have known it because he was outside the building and that's why he was shocked and surprised from it. But some of the younger players, I get they're upset, they're playing to win. But I think it was only 2 to 3 players speaking out, and they're just speaking out because they were asked about it. But there were a good amount of people in that building who knew. Coaches came out later, said that nothing was confrontational. Read that note from Jason Kelsey. And then my last point on Joe Judge is this. He talks about the integrity of the game. How about your disciple, Bill Belichick, who is known to be a cheater, who was cheated last year against Cincinnati and also years before in Deflategate? Where did the integrity of the game go then? That's my only question I have with Joe Judge. And I know a lot of the Giants players are mad and stuff. Win more than 6 games. Control your own destiny. Don't blame it on someone else.
Okay, I don't have a problem with you giving Nate Sudfeld snaps, but Hurts, like, it was like a 14-0 game, right? Hurts brings him back, makes it a game, then you pull him. That's the part I'm annoyed about. Like, yes, it's on the Giants, and neither of these are good teams. That should be in the playoffs.
But what it does look like is that, Peterson is trying to throw the game here. That's what it looks like from the outside.
That's are terrible.
Yeah, I mean, that's I don't think he was trying to throw the game. I think he was just trying to be. It's a meaningless game.
He for sure wasn't trying to win it though.
It's not a meaningless game though, because it's the difference between the 6th pick and the 9th pick. Whatever. That's beside the point. Let's just get back to this.
Anyway, I'm going to say something right now, and this might shock you guys. Traditionally, if there is a team with a losing record in the playoffs, they have actually won. So before I hear everybody going, Tampa Bay is going to win
right now.
We are picking Washington because of that.
Oh, okay.
No, okay. I like that. And
I don't mind that. I don't mind that whatsoever.
Chase Young says he wants to get after Tom Brady. And they've been able to get after players, after quarterbacks this all season.
I want the Buccaneers.
But how can you not take Buffalo, the Buccaneers? They've been on a hot streak. This is one of the hottest teams in the league right now.
I'm not going to bet against Brady in the playoffs against the Washington football team.
Yeah, it's just apparently my dad and I actually did the numbers, and apparently every time there's been a team with a losing record, which I think's been 3 or 4 times, I don't remember, they have always won.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's just kind of like, listen, if we're going off of what happens beforehand,
but we're not going off.
I don't blame you.
Here's a good thing to base it off of.
What?
I don't blame you. Go for it.
Base it off of. I will give you that.
Yeah. I think we have to move a little quicker though if we want to get to also. So 3-6 Seattle, LA, both teams 1-1, competitive matchup, NFC West. I think this is the most intriguing matchup of the weekend.
Probably. Not really certain, honestly. I think it's a coin toss, honestly, for that one. I mean, if they're 1-1 against each other.
These teams have shown consistency. The Rams are just all over the map. When they're on, they're on. When they're off, who really knows what's going on? But
so are we saying that it doesn't matter because they are most likely will play the same?
I think it does matter.
No.
I think it does matter.
Let's hear it.
I want Seattle. I want Seattle, honestly. I think when it comes down to it, I want Russell Wilson in this. I want Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll in this situation.
Yeah, I mean, the Rams. Jared Goff has not been a great playoff quarterback. A quarterback in general.
And he's coming off injury, right?
He's coming off with a broken thumb. We don't even know if he's going to play. Is he going to play?
It's unknown.
It is unknown. I don't trust what's his name, John
Walford. I mean, he wasn't bad. He would have.
That was Arizona's. That was
Arizona. Yeah.
Yeah, like Seattle's a completely different ball game, and the Rams defense. The Rams defense did hold up Kyler Murray, and but the Cardinals defense also held up John Saffold. The big question is if the Rams defense can hold off Russell Wilson. This is gonna be a low scoring game, I think, but I'm taking the Seahawks.
I'm going to be honest, though. I don't think it'll really matter because you're pretty much going to be facing Breeze and the Saints in round 2 at the Superdome. So does it almost kind of matter who moves on? Right?
I think it does. But
I think it does.
Okay. All right. I'm just kind of going. It's Breeze and It's Breeze and the Saints at the Superdome.
I actually that's a great transition because I think the Bears are going to be. I think the Bears could upset the.
I want the 3-6 in the next round.
I think the Bears could upset the Saints, and this is why Alvin Kamara might not be playing.
They scored like 43. Didn't they score like 35 points without him last week?
Against Panthers defense, Bears defense,
one of the worst defenses in the league. This is a Chicago Bears defense. This is Khalil Mack. This is Eddie Jackson. This is Fuller. This is a good defense. I don't think they're gonna win though. I do like Mitchell Trubisky as that Bears quarterback, but I will be taking the Saints. Close
Okay,
game, though. Very close.
I think if we have to put a game on upset watch, I like the Bears.
Yeah,
I'm not going to
True.
go as far as to say they're going to win, and I think the Saints will extend their lead maybe late fourth quarter, but I think the Bears can hang in there, run with them for a little bit, but I'm going to take the Saints at home.
Yeah, I think if anything, I think this one might be the lowest. This one might be a defensive battle. They played earlier in the year, and that was a defensive slugfest. Both offenses were garbage and awful. So, then now let's get to the second round. This is where things I think get really interesting, really bizarre. Kansas City, Baltimore. We'll go to the top right corner, work our way down. This one might be a snooze fest.
No, this is the game that we hoped to get last year.
Yeah, this is what everyone wanted last year.
This is a game. This is a year too late. This game. And I'll take Kansas City.
I'm going to take Kansas City, but I don't think it's going to be in any way a snooze fest.
No, it's not a snooze fest. It's Baltimore's going to compete offensively, and I think Kansas City's defense is just good enough.
I want KC.
So clarification on snooze. I think that I probably put it too lightly.
No, it's going to be a good game, but Kansas City's coming out on top.
There's going to be both offensive fireworks and a close game.
I actually think it's going to be opposite. I think Kansas City to me has been a little concerning.
I agree.
On the last six, I mean, they just have not won comfortably. They've always had to push it a little bit. That Atlanta game, I think Atlanta did some things that if teams just catch on and watch them, it's going to be like they can use that against them.
Every single playoff game.
Let me just say this: the Chiefs thought through adversity all of last year's playoff run. This was a team that had to come back against the Texans, had to come up
trailed every game, literally.
Had to come back against the Niners. People always counted them out, and somehow, some way, Patrick Mahomes, Andy Reid, they came back. And
I don't know if I like that though.
Wait, you're picking Baltimore?
I don't like Mahomes. I don't like Mahomes throwing 60 potentially like around 16 interceptions that were dropped. That's very
that's what I'm saying. I don't know if I like my Super Bowl champion team, especially if I'm picking them to repeat, to have to go through that much adversity. Because I mean, after a certain point, it's also about a little bit of luck, right? You have to get lucky that Bill O'Brien didn't punt on 4th and 3 and went for it, which allowed them to have shorter field. Like sometimes it's like you got to be a little like careful with this. I don't know, like them. I think I'm picking them eventually to win, but I'm just saying that.
Yeah,
it may not be as hyped of a game as it should be.
I agree.
Okay.
Well,
so moving on.
Let's go to Pittsburgh and Buffalo. Honestly, man, I think that's either going to be extremely good or it's going to be a cakewalk. I
want Buffalo in a blowout.
Yeah, I agree. Buffalo in a blowout.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm rooting for the Steelers, but yeah, I don't know. I don't see that. Just
I say
these teams played like week 15, week 16, and Buffalo blew them out.
And it's at Buffalo too. So
again,
Okay, so that seemed like pretty relatively easy. Now we have Green Bay, Tampa Bay / CJ House football team. This is actually, I mean, the whole NFC side is just a battle of matchups. Who's going to match up against who? Green Bay got smothered by Tampa Bay.
That worries me a little bit, I will admit.
I think that's a big worry. I think the main thing about Tampa Bay in that game was that they were able to get pressured at Aaron Rodgers. And, they should be able to do that and some more again. I think
without David Bakhtiari.
Without Bakhtiari, one of the best left tackles, if not the best left tackle in the league. He's out for the entire playoffs. I think guys like I think Vita Vea is going to be able to get in there. Levante David on some blitz packages. I think this is a very strong defense. Obviously, defensive player of the year from last year, Shaquille Barrett is going to be able to get some pressure in as well. I'm taking Tampa to upset the Packers in Lambeau.
I think you're right. Also, Green Bay is coming off of a bye week, and historically, they're not really good coming off of bye weeks in the playoffs. Kieran,
Aaron
you with
Rodgers
me?
does not have enough support around him as well.
Kieran,
not
CJ, you
helping.
guys with me, or are you guys against me?
I
and
think
Nate?
honestly, at that point, you're just gonna have to see. I mean, if Tampa Bay or Washington, if it's really close and everybody's kind of drained, you then do have to go to Lambeau, and Lambeau in the cold isn't really known
Yeah.
for.
I'm
Great. So
gonna
I
go
think it's
Green
really,
Bay
I
on
think,
this one,
I think
honestly.
it's real. I honestly think it's going to depend upon how close the first game is. If the first game's a blowout, it's going to be very easy. If not, it's going to depend.
I don't think the first game's gonna be. I think Washington has like a top 3 pass defense in the league, so they're
We'll
gonna.
see. We'll see.
I'll take Packers.
Yeah, we'll see.
I
Okay,
want
so
Seattle.
then,
I want Seattle.
yeah, I honestly think it doesn't really matter who comes out, Seattle, LA, because the Saints are very concerning to me. But
Yeah, I agree. I'm taking Seattle. One possession win for them. I think Russell Wilson is just a better.
Kamara will be back for sure by then.
Yes, we know that.
Mm.
But there's not many defenses have been able to slow down Russell Wilson.
I want the Saints over the Rams though.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. But
I think the Seahawks handily beat the Rams, and then we'll eke out a win against the Saints. But so I want Seattle in the.
But the craziest thing to me is that, even though me and Kieran both have Seattle making it to the conference championship, if the Rams are on, they can win the Super Bowl. If the Rams are on the entire playoffs, they are a Super Bowl team.
right,
It's just about consistency. It's just about consistency for so many teams in the NFC. All of these teams in the NFC have showed inconsistency. All of them. Which is obviously a concern. And it's just going to be mad about who's on Sunday in the playoff games.
Go off.
I'm definitely gonna agree with that too. I mean, I think the AFC's just overall been the better conference this year. I mean, even in the, you're looking at the NFC East. I don't just want to pick on them, but it's like you look at that and it's like whoever came out of that was just in a mess.
Come on, just pick the Dolphins over the football team at this point.
I mean. That's a little harsh, man. Come on. This man, like, that's just, hey, Tua, get in there. You're playing today. We didn't even make it. Yeah, you're in there. Let's go. Who cares?
Okay, so Tampa Bay / Green Bay, Seattle, and then Kansas City against Buffalo. That's going to be a championship Sunday for the AFC and the NFC championship. Mm-hmm. We have just under 5 minutes. So let's see, guys. Where are you going towards?
I'm taking Tampa. Oh, we're doing Buffalo KC first?
No. Yeah. I said NFC. Go for it.
Okay. I'm taking Tampa to beat the Green Bay, to beat the Seattle Seahawks. And I think Tom Brady's gonna find his rhythm. It's just about to me the Buccaneers have been the most hot team in the NFC as of late. And even though they've played some pretty questionable teams, I think I don't think Seattle's defense is going to be able to keep up with what Tom Brady has done. The reason why we saw, the Patriots lose to Tennessee was because the Tennessee defense was good last year. It was a good defense last year. I can't say the same about Seattle. Seattle's been one of the historically worst defenses in the NFL. Like, not just this year, historical, all time, one of the worst defenses. And so that's a concern going up against the GOAT. For me, so I'm gonna get Tampa.
I just want whoever's in that game, whether it be Tampa Bay or Green Bay. Like,
okay.
I mean, I'll put Green Bay, I guess, but I think I'll put Green Bay there. I think Green Bay beats Tampa and goes.
I mean, I'm gonna be honest right now. I don't think it really matters because I think the AFC is gonna win the Super Bowl. So
that's fair. That's fair as well.
Make the prediction right now.
I'll take Green Bay, Lambeau Field, Seattle. To me, I've said this on many occasions. I have no problem saying Green Bay's the best offensive team, better than Kansas City, better than Buffalo. Their coaching, their schematics is just unbelievable.
LaFleur is a genius.
Absolutely. Okay, AFC, Kansas City, Buffalo. This one might be a little tougher.
This is gonna be the best game of the entire playoffs for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I really think Buffalo could come out on top. I think it's a coin flip. I think it's come down to a coin flip.
I think Buffalo could come out on top. I think it's a very close game. And yes, a coin flip. But we're here to make a choice, and I'm going to choose Kansas City.
Someone make it interesting.
I don't know. I mean, the thing is, it's Buffalo going to Arrowhead,
True.
and I don't really know. I have to be kind of careful. I don't really know how have they been on the road? Because I haven't really been paying.
They lost to Tennessee on the road by a blowout. But they played Kansas City at home and lost by 9. But this is a Bills team that has been extremely good. I think they're on a great win streak right now, right?
They're hot. They're
the hottest. I think they're the hottest team in the NFL, even over Baltimore.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think Josh Allen has looked insane. Stephon Diggs, best receiver, can make an argument for being the best receiver in the NFL. But if it comes down to it, you're going up against defending Super Bowl champion, $500 million man. These guys are known to come back late. And we might see that again. We might see another late game comeback.
Lots of the Bills' wins have been one possession, which worries me a little bit.
But so is Kansas City. Kansas City has not won a game more than 6 points.
And yet we're calling, and then
and in crunch time, I want Kansas City in a close game late. I trust Andy Reid to make the right call, Eric Bieniemy to make the right call.
That is
a game with late fourth quarter, someone needs to score. I choose Kansas City, and
that is a really good point.
Allen, he has shown immaturity in the playoffs before.
When he lateraled the ball backwards.
He's matured so much as a player. But in the spur of the moment, you might just decide to lateral on a 2nd and long. And I might cost you the Super Bowl, dude. You don't want to do that. I'm taking KC.
There we go.
So I think we have 4 KCs then?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
All right. I was a little close to picking the Bills, but I think Kieran probably put the nail in the coffin. That was a great point. Okay, so Tampa Bay / Green Bay versus Kansas City.
If KC gets it, they're winning the chip over either of these teams. Tampa Bay pretty easily too.
I think Green Bay has a better shot of beating Kansas City than Tampa does. I think the same could be said about Seattle. Seattle has a better shot than Tampa does against Kansas City. But it's Kansas City. It's Kansas City. This is a team that has fought through so much adversity this year. That is, without some of their best players from that Super Bowl run. Offensive lineman, Duvernay, I think his name or something like that. Williams, their running back in the Super Bowl, just was insane.
Clyde's good too, though.
Clyde's been all right this year. He's not been everything that I hope that he was. But I'm taking Kansas City. I'm gonna be boring.
I don't want to be boring, but I think I'm going to have to. Okay, listen, this is the only problem I have with Kansas City. And I'll go back to something CJ said earlier on the show. Back about Washington football team, remember how he said that teams with a record under 500 are undefeated in the playoffs? It's kind of the same way with back-to-back champions. It's really tough to be back-to-back champion. When you're a defending Super Bowl champion, something goes wrong at some point in the season for you. There's only been one team or a couple teams that have been able to break that, and they all have Brady. They had either Brady, Montana, or I think Troy Aikman did it once too.
But here's the thing. Mahomes is already like that. Which is crazy to say. Which is crazy to say. The most talented quarterback that we have seen in a long time.
Fair.
But he has an insane arm. He can scramble. This is that's like the first time you've seen that in a dynasty. A scrambling quarterback. It's Patrick Mahomes. It's Andy Reid. That's gonna become a legendary duo. They got great targets. Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, defensive stars.
We're unanimous, right?
Matthew, we're unanimous. We're taking KC.
Say no more. I honestly thought on the second go around that it would get a little more interesting, but I think your guys are right. Kansas City is just too good.
We didn't pick it, but there's gonna be an upset. Which is going to be real bracket.
I gave my upset. I said that was Buccaneers making it to the Super Bowl. I think that's a big upset.
Okay, how about this? Go through all your guys' we'll pick one upset in the playoffs that you guys would bank on. Nate's is Tampa Bay to the Super Bowl. Kieran, do you have one?
Rams to the Super Bowl.
Okay, CJ, do you have one?
Washington.
Washington. Okay, I like that. I'm gonna go with Kansas City missing in the second round.
But I could.
Or Bills win the chip.
Yeah, I could see the Bills winning the ship. I could see the Rams winning the ship. I could see, I could see Green Bay, Saints.
And hey,
maybe
COVID is still
Browns.
Saints
COVID-
lose to Bears. That
COVID
was
is-
Nate's big.
COVID is still around. So I mean, you never know when that can just
I
come
mean,
in and mess someone up.
COVID has the potential to.
Mahomes gets COVID.
I'll say this: Super Bowl champion.
Ravens win the title.
COVID-19 Super Bowl champion 2020.
And on that bombshell.
That probably does it for our show. I should not end it on a bad way there, but it is reality. We have Monday our playoffs on this weekend, and then obviously Monday national championship, which we did not get a chance to go over because of my rant on the Eagles, but you guys allowed that. But that was a good debate. Okay, so that does it for our show here today. That's our NFL bracket. Don't roast us if it goes bad, but hopefully you guys stay safe. Take care. For Nate Martin, CJ Rulo, Kieran Costa, I'm Sunay Sanghani signing out for Sports Sit Down. See you later.